Hi guys. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already are gonna know what this video is about. It's I I was up till 7 o'clock this morning, laying in bed thinking about everything that I wanted to say in this video, how I wanted to say it, the right things that I wanted to come across, because I feel like it's very, very important, especially with the way society is and the world that we live in now, because things obviously have gotten a lot worse than what they have been. And I feel like I'm really confused in how the best way I want to go about this video is. And I want to preface this by saying that this video is in no former way a way to get like any type of sympathy or anything. This is a video that I feel like the second this happened to me, and then so many people started coming forward to me, I just felt that it was going to be very important to kind of spread awareness, because I feel like a lot of people make videos on a lot of the basic stuff like politics, drama going on in the beauty community, drama going on with family vlogs. Like, everyone is so focused on what the media is seeing that nobody really talks about what goes on in people's day-to-day life that can seriously affect them, harm them, traumatize them, kill them, and they have to live with this every single day, and nobody talks about it. And I guess that's why I feel so strongly about it. But recently, I was trying to sell my computer, and I wanted to sell it to someone that I knew, just because it's easier that way, you feel safer that way, and I feel like anybody that is selling something typically would like to try and sell it to someone that they know. I have been selling on like meetup apps for like 5 years. I've never ever had any issues. I've never had anyone lie to me, jip me, whatever. Like, everything that I've ever done on these apps has gone very, very smoothly. And I've met a lot of nice people through it. That's that. So I went ahead, and when I was not, nobody that I knew was interested, I went ahead and listed my laptop on one of those meetup apps. And I started getting a lot of people that were trying to, lowball me, whatever. And so I would tell them, no, thank you, or I can't take that, whatever. So anyways, I get a message from this woman, and she immediately says, she wants to buy it, and that's that. She didn't try to lowball me. She didn't try to talk me down, so I was very excited that she was the first person that I had messaged me that was willing to give what I was asking. And so she asked me if I could meet closer to where she lived, which I've had people ask me that in the past, because people share cars, people don't have cars, or like one woman I sold to one time, she was disabled, so she had to wait till someone could bring her to meet me. There's all different types of stuff that go on with people in their day-to-day lives where they're really being honest about it, and so I'm typically just a trusting, caring person, and I'm like, I want to help do whatever's going to be easiest for the other person, sometimes even if it puts me out. So this woman asked if I could meet her on her side, which is about an hour from me. Okay, keep that in mind. Number one, red flag. Number two, told me that if the only way she could get me to bring it to her was if she gave me gas. Number two, red flag. But once again, I'd experienced this in the past and never had any issues with it, so it wasn't a big deal to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait till this weekend because my fiance's working, whatever. So anyways, I made it a point to where I was going to be able to meet this woman before the weekend. So I'm talking to this woman, and she's giving me, this address to meet her at, and she says that her son really needs the laptop for school, and her and her husband share a car and he works nights. And so she wasn't going to be able to, that's why she needed me to come over there, whatever. So I was not alone, I have been alone in the past, and thinking back on it now, there was some really dangerous situations I could have been put in by going by myself. Thank God nothing ever happened, but I was not alone when I went to meet this woman. So we get out there, and this woman is telling me, I'm almost there. I'm on my way from the bank. And so I'm like, cool, we're in this vehicle, we're parked here. She had told me that we were meeting at a security office near her son's school. So to me, that meant, it's funny because even when I told my fiance that, he said maybe that's her way of feeling safe. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, great, we're meeting at a security office. Everything, will go smoothly, whatever. So we show up and it's an apartment complex. And so I'm a little bit like, okay, she told me this was a security office. Maybe she meant like the way she was talking was really like, not well. The way she was messaging me, her grammar was off, spelling was off, everything. But once again, I've had people in the past who didn't speak very well English that I've dealt with before that were like that. It was never an issue. So I'm like, maybe she meant the security office, like the office for her apartment complex. So anyways, we pull up, whatever, we're sitting there and we had the windows down, and this kid who looked about 16, 17 walks up to the window, and I kind of looked at him because I'm like, you're not a woman, whatever. And he looks at me and he says, hey, my mom is the one buying the laptop from you. She's coming down right now. She went ahead and sent me down here so that you guys didn't have to wait any longer. So in my mind, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. We're in a complex. This kid is young, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I step out of the car and I ask him, do you want to go ahead and look it over, and then I apologized because I had like a girly bag to go with it, a girly mouse, that type of stuff. So I was just trying to joke around and make things lighthearted. So anyways, he's like, oh no, for real, whatever. And so we're kind of going back and forth. And then I take out the laptop and I'm showing him how like absolutely like flawless the laptop is because I take care of my stuff. There was no scratches on it or anything. And so he's looking at it, and I'm like, the power button's right here. You can turn it on. And he's like, did you wipe everything? And I said, yes, I wiped it this morning. So it's perfectly set, ready for you to do whatever you need to do for school. So anyways, he's like, do you have the charging cords and stuff like that? And I had everything in a bag. So I was showing him, I said, yes, here's the charger cord, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, he goes, do you mind if we go, there was a little outlet on the wall up by the door where we were parked. He goes, do you mind if we go plug it in so I can make sure it works? And I said, of course, that's fine. And as we're walking towards where the outlet was, he decides to take off with my laptop and the charging cord. Now, in that moment, I kind of just stood there and I, for a split second, felt extremely violated. And it happened so fast that I walked back to the car, and my mom and my grandma's the one that drove us. My mom was in the back seat with my son. And I walk up to the car door and I said, he just took off with my laptop. My mom she was kind of freaking out a little bit, and she was like, we need to go get, and I said, no, like, he's gone, like, it's done, there's nothing we can do. In that moment, I found myself wanting to cry, but you know how like when you want to cry but you just can't? That's where I found myself. So we had driven through the complex before we parked to meet this woman, and there was a bunch of people at the complex park. So my grandma pulls back in, pulls in front of the park. There's like 10 to 12 kids and 2 women. My grandma gets out of the vehicle. She walks up to the women and asks, did y'all see a kid take off? You know, we were trying to sell this laptop and this kid just stole it from my granddaughter. And the girl was like, what kind of laptop was it? And I said it was a MacBook. Like, it was almost a $2,000 laptop. And I said he was pretending to be a woman. His mom was supposed to be buying it from me. So anyways, they asked what he looked like. I explained what he was wearing, what he looked like. And all the kids at the park said they had seen that kid just right before he met us standing at the park. Well, whenever we told the little kids what had happened, these little kids were probably between the ages of like 8 and 10. They were so sweet in the fact that like they all bundled up together and took off running around the complex to see if they could find this kid. So anyways, we call the cops. I get a statement. I call Apple. I put a block on the computer, you know, whatever. Still, this was Wednesday. Today's Saturday. I still haven't heard anything. But when I had posted what had happened to me on Instagram, I had a few people come forward with some stuff that happened to them. And I got permission from them to tell their stories in this video. I am going to leave them anonymous just for privacy's sake, and some of this stuff is a little bit more serious than what you really ever hear people talk about. And so I wanted to make this video as kind of an awareness video. And so when I put my story up, now first I do just want to say my mom worked with a woman who she went with her husband and her son. This was quite a few years back, at least 3 to 4 years, I believe. I could be wrong, but somewhere along there. So they take their son to sell his PlayStation. And when they showed up, the people that they were selling this PlayStation to pulled a gun on this man and woman's son, and the woman jumped in front of her son and they shot her and killed her over a PlayStation. And her husband and her son had to watch her die over a PlayStation. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there who have some whack stuff going on in their life and stuff that we as humans can't even like imagine what it would be like to go through or to deal with these things. And that's not an excuse to do these types of things. You know, some people have serious mental illnesses, and it's something about the way their brain is wired. But with that being said, it's scary to think that on a day-to-day basis, there are people that we are passing every single day that within just a second they could snap and kill someone or steal your purse or steal your kid. I just got an Amber Alert the day after my laptop was stolen that a 3-month-old had been kidnapped like an hour away from me. And I go into this place where I want to understand why this stuff is happening, but it's just not possible. I will never understand why that kid felt the need to take off with my laptop. I will never understand why someone feels the need to steal someone else's child. I will never understand why someone feels the need to shoot someone over a $200 electronic. You know, and there's people that have died over stuff that was a lot less. You know, someone owed someone something. Someone owed someone $20. They killed them. You know, just all this different stuff. And people don't think about it and people don't talk about it enough. And so with that, I want to go ahead and read to you guys a couple of these stories that, well, they're not really stories, but a few people that came forward and told me stuff that happened to them. So one girl came forward and she told me that, I'm having to scroll on my Instagram to try and find the messages. So one girl came forward and said, I'm so sorry about your laptop. I don't use this blank app anymore due to the fact that I went to buy a iPhone 7 Plus, spent $280 on it. The girl took off and completely locked it and blacklisted it. So now she has a $280 paperweight, in her words. And like, first of all, you're getting your money. You're getting your $280. Why do you feel the need to blacklist the phone? Like, you already got your money. That doesn't even make sense. Like, if she had have taken off with the money before she gave her the phone, you know, that even makes more sense. None of it is right. But I didn't understand that. And then one guy came forward and told me that we were talking about it, you know, he said sorry that the situation was messed up. Asked how I've been, and I said doing pretty good despite being robbed. And I was kind of just joking about it because it was like, I can't do anything about it. The only thing that honestly made me okay in that moment was when I got in the car and I looked in the back seat and saw my son smiling at me. And in that moment, that was all that mattered. The laptop didn't matter. The fact that I just got gypped, all of that stuff did not matter. It was the fact that my family and myself were safe. That's what mattered. And so, you know, he was like, that's messed up. He was like, how have you been? And then he told me that he got robbed last year and then shot in the leg. Now, luckily it was only the leg, because if they had have, you know, shot him in some type of artery or in the heart or in the head or wherever, he would have died. And like, I don't understand. Like, I really, really don't. And, you know, another girl told me that the same thing happened with her phone. And then the most serious one that really, really, I don't want to say inspired because I feel like that's not the right word to use for a video like this. I guess triggered me to want to make this video. She came forward and said, glad you're all safe. I got into the same kind of deal but was raped. Just learn there are a-holes out there. Now at that point, after I'd heard the other stuff, I was already so dumbfounded. Then when she told me that, that's what really hit me people are really doing this over electronics. People are really lying about this stuff to hurt people. And I literally said, I don't even know what to say. And she said, glad it's in my past. I go nowhere alone. Now here's the thing. The thing that's really bad about all this is a lot of times people have to go places alone. You have to go to work alone, you know, if you don't have anyone that can take you. And then even Uber and all these other things, you know, there's been people that have gotten in serious trouble through Uber and all these other Lyft and whatever else. And so it's like, we can't even go do something as simple as go to the grocery store without the thought of someone watching us, kidnapping us, robbing us, and it's not fair. And in her situation, she said that she was really ashamed that she put herself in this situation. Nobody should be ashamed that what they were going to do, they were really trusting in. These people that did this to her lied to her. It was essentially a similar situation to mine, where it was an iPhone and an iPad that she was trying to sell. And it was two guys pretending to be a grandmother. And it was two teenage boys. I'm assuming it was boys because she just said two teens. Grabbed her and forced her into her house. And raped her over an iPad and an iPhone. And this is where I don't know what else to say in this video, because these types of things happen every day. They're never going to stop. You know, we can't live our lives in fear, because that's not living. You know, we can be smart about things. We can look out for red flags. You know, if you're going to sell on one of these apps, meet at a police station. You know, meet somewhere like that, like in a police station, somewhere where it's safe, to where if the other person doesn't agree to meet you there, then you know that they're only out to either steal from you or hurt you. So I hope that you guys take something out of this video, learn something, especially if there's anyone younger that's watching this that feels like they know what they're doing. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can always be lied to. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can think that you know everything in the world. You can act like you're smart and you're tough and whatever, and then someone knocks you down, and then just don't be cocky. Like, learn to realize when you could be being lied to, and learn to try and not put yourself in these bad situations, because this goes far beyond selling stuff on stupid apps. This, you know, it goes meeting people online, meeting people through social media, hooking up with someone that you just met and they want to meet you somewhere, you know, and you barely know them, giving your number out to a stranger. And a lot of it all comes full circle to, we don't know who we can trust and who we can't trust. My dad always said the only person that you can trust is yourself. So there's a lot of times where you feel like, you know, the only person that you can trust is yourself. And that's not always the case. It's not. There's a lot of people that are in my life that I know for a fact I can trust. But I guess what I'm trying to say in this video is just be cautious, because this is something that happened to me. And thank the good Lord above, nothing else happened to me. He just took it and ran. You know, he could have pulled a gun on us. He could have pulled a knife out. He could have done so many worse things than just taking off with the laptop. So I hope that you guys got something out of this, and I'll be back to, you know, normal content, if you will, hopefully within the next week. I just really felt like it was on my heart to get this video out there to some people that may need it, or may feel like this happened to them and they're alone, you know, because it's not fun to feel violated, and feeling violated doesn't necessarily mean you got raped, you know. There's a whole bunch of things that can make you as a person feel violated, and if you find yourself in a position like this, you know, don't feel stupid, because it's happened to a lot of people. The majority of the world has done stuff like this. And so I hope that you guys learned something and got something out of this. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So I hope that you guys got something, and I will hopefully see y'all in my next video. Bye.